Hello, everyone. Thank you. Can you remember the way we used to travel in the old times? I can remember perfectly. I used to travel with my family, 3 kids, my parents, going to different places every year, long trip journeys by car. I even remember my parents discussing a little bit during the journey because my father didn't want to ask anyone to get information about the place we were going. And these all paper maps, really good memories. But look how technology has changed the way we travel today. 3 weeks ago, I have the possibility, very lucky possibility, to try a Waymo trip in San Francisco. That's a mind-blowing experience. That's one of the best examples today of the use of artificial intelligence and robotics. And I can assure you that my expectations now about transportation are much higher than they were before trying Waymo. And this is what is happening to all the consumers today. The expectations are rising, and they want to have experiences with brands than ever before. Today, the consumers has the possibility to take very complex decisions, accessing different sources of information in a very fast way on their hands. And that's why they can take these complex decisions very fast. And for sure, today they are more unpredictable than ever. And let me give you an example. When we plan traveling, that's a really complex process. We are using and spending more than 300 minutes on an average. That's a lot of time. This is more time than on an average a user is spending on the process of purchasing a car. You need to answer different questions. You need to manage different stakeholders when you are planning holidays. And you use a lot of digital time. Most of the time we use on digital is spending in 3 behaviors: searching, scrolling, and watching. And today, I'm going to go a little bit deeper on search. Search continues being our main moonshot at Google. And we are bringing all the power of generative AI into search to make it more useful for the users. We are serving more than 5 trillions with T, every year of queries. And we are reaching all the age groups, including Generation C, which is the one using more heavier the platform. And this is happening because today we have reinvented the way we are letting the users to make questions and the way we are answering that questions. It's not about text only anymore. Of course, we are texting queries, and we are receiving text answers every day while using google.com. But it's much more. Today, we can make multimodal queries through voice and image. I don't know if any of you have tried Circle to Search feature, which, by the way, is one of the most popular features among the Generation C. You just can look at an image or a video, and you just circle on the screen of your phone, and you get information about what you are seeing. Once you try it, I can assure you you are going to use it on a weekly basis. And Google Lens, that allow us to search what we are seeing. Google Lens is receiving today more than 20 billion searches every month. And the way we are answering that questions with AI overviews we can answer in a more elaborate way to more complex questions. And with AI mode, we let the users iterate during this process. And what we are seeing is that 15% of the queries are new queries every day. We are seeing also that long queries are growing double-digit. And when I'm saying long queries, I mean queries with more than 5 keywords. And we are seeing that users using AI overviews and AI mode are engaging more, and the traffic we are sending to the sites is even more qualified. AI overviews and AI mode is a kind of layer to qualify and to refine the search the user is doing. And what is amazing is that we are bringing all this new technology into travel experience in Google Search. And let me give you an example. Imagine we are planning a weekend in Miami, and we are foodies. Today, when we query that question, we can get an answer which is much more compelling than previously. We can get a detailed itinerary of what we could do during a weekend in Miami. We can get suggestions of different restaurants, information about hotels, information about flights in just the first answer. And of course, we can iterate and we can swap the different restaurants we are getting, going deeper into the information, getting details, reading reviews. We can also get an average information about timetables of the flights, or average information about prices of hotels. And later, we can export all that information into Google Docs. Just in a moment, we have been able to get an overview of what a weekend in Miami could be, with almost just one search. I said before that circle to search is one of my favorite features at Google. I'm a loving traveler. I used to go to YouTube to get inspiration. And when following travel YouTubers, sometimes I see spots that I would like to get more information. With just circling the spot, like in the example of the slide, you can get specific information on what you are seeing. And in some cases like that, you can even book the tickets if you want to go. I've been working at the internet industry for more than 20 years, and I'm really excited that today, with the artificial intelligence revolution, we have the opportunity to bring new customer experiences, raising the bar, and to bring also more value to the companies we're working for. Thank you.
All right. It's so exciting to sit down with you during a time when these tools feel like they're changing so rapidly. And I was a traveler long before I was in the travel industry. The list of Google searches that you showed in one of those first slides was almost triggering to see how many were there, because I relate to it. So there's quite a debate within the travel industry about the consumer relationship with trip planning. And one side really says that we don't have the right tools to make it truly streamlined, and people will use the tools to make it really fast as soon as they become available in the way that's customized to their liking. The other side of the debate says that people genuinely enjoy the process of dragging things out, getting to know their options, seeing the variety of what's out there. After working with all of this, where do you fall in that debate? How do you feel about this?
Well, I believe that the experience is going to be a mix of both, right? Convenience has been always very important for consumers, right? And it drives change and innovation. But at the same time, I agree with you that planning trips or traveling is something that we get fun. So I believe that we will keep in both. The experiences we are going to offer, not just Google, but all the companies, will be more appealing, more easy to use, more convenience at the end of the day. But I think we can continue having fun during the process, even spending more time in part of the process that we couldn't do it in the past.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I don't know, getting more information about the specific things to do, experiences, spending more time on that, or even being able to find better options for you.
Okay, so that's interesting. There's so much being done to increase the convenience, but you think there's going to be some point at which people will always engage with the options. I saw some of the information about how we see search queries getting longer. I'm sure that these changes in consumer behavior are making some marketers out there just really sweat trying to adapt to evolving consumer behavior. What do you suggest to marketers who are concerned right now about staying visible within these new search processes, and especially with the AI overviews that are being shown in search?
Well, that's a great question, and I think there has not been better time to be a marketer than today, honestly. For some of us that have been working in marketing for years, we have been listening the promise of hyper-personalization for a lot of years. I think we are closer than ever, because today we can create creativity at a scale, we can produce messages at a level that we couldn't do it in the past. And with the data we had from the users and from our customers, we are able to really present specific and very customized offers. And in the case of AI overviews, of course, we are offering opportunities now, solutions to put ads in the overviews using some of the advertising solutions we had in the past as performance masks, but also new solutions like AI Max for Search that are allowing advertisers using the power of AI to be very relevant in these overviews with the offers.
Okay, so there's still an approach to surfacing organically in the overviews, but you're also monetizing, and there will be opportunity for paid appearances and these
Correct.
Kinds of things.
It's possible. In Europe, it's in beta, and we are testing it with some advertisers at the moment. Yeah.
Interesting. So I get so interested in your mentions of the customization, hyper-personalization, and the travel industry has been obsessed with personalized trip planning for much longer than this recent AI wave. How do you think marketers need to consider their targeting approaches now? If there's a possibility of surfacing more and more relevant information, what do they have to think about their customer, and what plans do they need to make to reach a more specific customer?
I believe that the same we are using the power of generative AI to make our solutions more appealing and useful for everyone. There is also a possibility for marketers and the teams, the digital teams in the companies, to use it also for them. Firstly, in their own websites, I believe that, and we are also working with a lot of customers in the travel industry, offering the possibility to use generative search on their own websites, which gives two things, in my opinion. First of all, new experience for the customers, but also entering into a conversation most of the suppliers, in that case, are not yet. I'm thinking on hoteliers or airlines, even OTAs. A lot of the conversation is very transactional today. With generative AI, we have the possibility to start the conversation previous to the transaction, and getting a lot of information, which is very, very, very valuable for marketing, to adapt the content, to understand better the consumer, and also, why not, to find new commercial offers.
What type of information are you referring to with that additional
just
context?
Imagine you used to go to an airline when you really know where you want to go, and almost you know the timetable, right? So imagine going to an airline, and instead of saying you want to go from New York to Barcelona, you could say, I want to spend a weekend, not far than 2 hours to go from New York, in a spot where the average temperature is whatever, and you start getting suggestions, right? So that's the kind of conversation which was not happening in the past. I believe that it will happen in a lot of websites in the future.
Interesting. So marketers would have a much richer picture of consumer intent and theoretically be able to make a plan based off of those intentions in a way they weren't able to previously.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. They will be able to make plans for marketing that targets, but they will able to customize product and also offering new products.
Interesting. Flipping the conversation a little bit, this is obviously a crazy time to be alive in terms of the economy, in terms of geopolitical events that are happening now. Google has so much access to how people are searching and planning travel. Are there any kinds of leading indicators that you see that people are planning on traveling differently, or how people are going to behave differently in this time?
Well, I believe that it has been, from a macroeconomical point of view and geopolitical point of view, it has been a different year, I would say. And we have seen that in the demand. And it's also true that we came from 3 years of record demand continuously. So what we've seen is that demand is not growing as fast as it was growing in the past, especially in Europe or US. It's different in Asia, where we see the demand is also growing very, I wouldn't say healthy, but faster, right? That's something we have seen, especially in the first quarter of the year. Now, at the end of Q2, we are seeing the demand ramping again. I think people, I don't know if they are less worried or they are just more focused on planning, they feel more comfortable. But the reality is the demand is ramping again, compared to what has happened in Q1. There was too much geopolitical discussion, let's say.
So reason to hope.
Hopefully, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, we're at time. Thank you so much for closing out Phocuswright Europe with me for 2025.
Thanks for inviting me.
Sergio?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.